Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. Good afternoon, good evening. No matter what time it is, just know this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. As always, God is good, and He is good all the time. And this is how I truly feel, right? I feel that males, no matter what what your race is, no matter what your nationality is, right? I feel that when males, and not even just males, but like back and forth females and all that, but I feel like when you, as a man, put on female, whether it's clothing, vernacular, you know what I'm saying, body language, when you do that, right? And it's not because you identify as the queer person, but you're doing it as comedy or entertainment. I believe that that is equivalent to blackface. Another thing that y'all don't account for in these research studies, and y'all never even talk on, is the fact that you have guys with low sperm count, right? Are they supposedly inferior to you guys with average sperm counts based on your masculinity and sperm knowledge? All right, y'all. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it, right? I keep seeing all this content about semen retention and all this man self-help stuff, right? And I'm not knocking, the self-help for males and stuff. I think the self-help world is a bit cheesy and exploitive, but I'm not knocking it based on a specific gender, right? However, what kind of led me into it, right? So earlier today, my wife was watching this video, and it was this guy who was like clowning females who come on the bus and be like, "It's my friend's birthday," or they come on the plane, "It's my friend's birthday," giving me a cash app, best friend, and they make fun of women, and it's a dude, you know what I'm saying? And so when my wife showed it to me, I was like, well, I don't really like watching those things because, and this is how I truly feel, right? I feel that males, no matter what what your race is, no matter what your nationality is, right? I feel that when males, and not even just males, but like back and forth females and all that, but I feel like when you, as a man, put on female, whether it's clothing, vernacular, you know what I'm saying, body language, when you do that, right? And it's not because you identify as the queer person, but you're doing it as comedy or entertainment. I believe that that is equivalent to blackface, minstrel shows, where you have white people, right, impersonating black people for entertainment, right? Because what you're doing is appropriating a culture that does not belong to you. And you can't have cultural appropriation without exploitation, right? When you take someone's culture and you pick a part of it, you pick it apart and you use it in a way, whether it's entertainment, or anything of that sort, when you use it in a way that is not intended to be used to your own gain, to your own benefit, you are exploiting that culture and you are culture appropriating. It's disrespectful. So I find it very disrespectful. And it's on average, I see males do it to females. It's not as often as I see females do it to males. I'm starting to see it pop up a little bit more because I'm pretty sure other females are tired of it as well. But the thing is that the junk is wrong, right? And so me and my wife was talking about that, and it made me think, it got me onto the next topic, because I'm like, you know what? While we sitting here talking about males exploiting females, let's talk about how the article I started reading, right? So I read this article several years back, and it has something to do with a research paper that I had put together during my master's degree program, right? And so I was watching peer-to-peer podcasts with Agent Zero and the Low and all of them, right? I just got into it, just started watching them. And I've been seeing a consensus when, of him, when they get males onto their their podcast, they start talking about how, oh, the semen retention and masculinity and all this weirdo stuff, right? And this is also something that I have seen in other spaces. Other content creators has talked about semen retention and masculinity and blah, 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 blah. Just recently, I was reminded of Cash. For those who know, Cash Nasty, the guy that's in the YouTube community, not really sure what he's known for. I guess NBA 2K and then more recently reaction videos. But yeah, he was getting ready to play his game against Matt Kiatpiss or something like that. Cat Piss. And he was getting ready to play his game, and he was on live with motherfucking Milk White. And dude just started out of nowhere. It was like, I haven't masturbated. I haven't had sex. He said that he was just full of semen inside of him, right? And I just bust out laughing, because it's just like, bro, I really don't understand, I don't understand this at all. Like, I don't understand this power that y'all males are trying to give to semen. I got all these people that's talking about research and science this and science that, and yet the thing is that this is what it comes down with science in general, right? Science research are proved, right, by theories. Theories are just these ideas that people have, right? They come up with this hypothesis, and they lay out the structured research, approach on how they're going to study it and whatnot. And but the thing about theories is that they're not 100% true. They're not 100% proven, right? Because once upon a time, the climate theory existed, where people who come from extreme climates was going to be deemed this skin color, and those people that come from those extreme climates are unintelligent, incapable of governing themselves, blah, 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 blah. Right? And this was motherfreaking established by Aristotle. You know what I'm saying? Where he sits here and he's like, black people, these people from Africa, extreme hot temperatures, right? They're going to be dark skinned. And you're going to have these people that's from extreme cold areas, and they're going to be super pale. But the thing about these super pale and super dark skinned people are that they're barbarians. They need to be enslaved. They're incapable of governing themselves, thinking for themselves, doing anything for themselves. They're ignorant. They're stupid, lazy. They need us people that's not on the extremes, you know what I'm saying, to motherfucking tell them about themselves and to govern them. And that was deemed to be untrue, because the Inuit, if you've ever heard of the Inuit tribe, it's this tribe of, I don't really know what to call them, Asian, native, indigenous maybe. But there's these indigenous people who are culturally accustomed to cold, and when I say cold, I mean we're talking about like Eskimo, Antarctica type cold, right? These cold climates. Yet they're very more on the dark side. They like my color and a little darker. You know what I'm saying? But yet, so these theories are constantly being disproved. There's so much information out here, you know what I'm saying, that contradicts. And at the end of the day, no one's research is exhaustive, which means no one has studied every single bit of the in and outs to it. So this is, what we got, that's the best you're going to get. And it's motherfreaking, its confidence level is pretty, it's usually like 70%, right? But anyways, we sit here and base it on research, and we talk about, I keep saying that the guys talking about not masturbating and motherfreaking not having sex and saving their sperm increases their testosterone and their masculinity levels. And to me, it's just like madness, right? I met this lady at the gym. This chick got, let me put me out there. I got a strong, like 7 to 10 motherfreaking chin hairs that come in, right? I got to tweeze these junk or go to the mother freaking, I forget what they call it, but the lady with the little string, when she go and do my eyebrows, she clean up my chin. Got these strong 7 to 10 motherfucking, and I'm saying strong as if I go so long without motherfucking attending to these bad boys, homie, you will see my little hairs, you know what I'm saying? Look like little, I don't want to say a beard. It's not enough for a beard, but it got a little fuzz to it, right? And then I met this lady at the gym. Her junk way noticeable. Like that junk starting to connect. She got like patchy spots that's just like dark. And she about my skin complexion. Breath stinker than a motherfucker, but I digress. Anyways, this lady got all this facial hair. I've come across females who have full-blown mustaches and beards, right? And some of these women do identify as, queer. Some of them not. They're straight. But on average, when people see these type of women, one of the first thoughts that come to mind is like, is this woman going through the trans process? Like how she got facial hair? Overlooking the fact that there's just some females who got facial hair. Growing up in church, I know several black women, older black women, who had facial hair, right? Science has proven that some females do have higher testosterone levels than other females, yet they still considered females, right? Ain't no sperm involved. They got more than likely, on average, they have a set of ovaries, you know what I'm saying? Some fallopian tubes, They got the reproductive system of a woman, not a man. They ain't got no sperm, right? Yep. They have pretty high levels of testosterone, at least compared to some women. There's actually women out here who got full blown. Their beards and everything is better than most of these dudes out here. Whole shebang, right? No sperm. So my question is, why do you weirdos associate your masculinity to your sperm count, right? Cash Nasty sitting here talking about he got all the sperm inside him. He ain't masturbate. He haven't had sex. And what did it do for you? You lost against MK. I really want to ask MK. MK, were you still having sex with your girlfriend? Because I feel like that junk is straight up garbage. Straight up garbage. You can't base it on motherfucking science when, one, there's a shared motherfucking consensus, and then you have not tested for that as well, right? You can't associate motherfucking sperm count to testosterone levels when you have women out here with no testosterone, or they have no sperm, but they have testosterone. Like, sometimes I feel like this is just some made up jargon for y'all niggas just so y'all can feel important, right? Because for so long, people have been talking about the powers of, childbearing, carrying a child in you for 9 months, the periods, the reproductive system of females has been main topic for a while. And so as a person from the disenfranchised group, I know how it feels to be left out of spaces, and you're like, bro, what about me? And that's how I feel that it is with y'all dudes and y'all sperm and testosterone and masculinity talks. It's like y'all make up some jargon just so you can feel included in the talks of, reproductive systems that are, worthy enough to be glorified or some wild junk, right? It's weird. It's motherfucking weird, because another thing that y'all don't account for in these research studies, and y'all never even talk on, is the fact that you have guys with low sperm count, right? Are they supposedly inferior to you guys with average sperm counts based on your masculinity and sperm knowledge? Because I know guys who have been told that they have low sperm counts, and yet these niggas beast at basketball. Not too many people could, you know what I'm saying? Not too many people could hold them. They beasts in just about everything they do, but their sperm count is lower than dudes. And that don't make them a female because they got a lower sperm count or a non-existing. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand that. Then my wife was like, well, it got something to do with their chakras. Chakras don't exist, okay? I know y'all used to people saying things that tailor to your beliefs and coax you and coddle you, but let me tell you something. Chakras don't exist. There's no such thing as a third eye. Even in my house, when I tell people, you step in my house, don't talk about that third eye nonsense. In this house, we serve Jesus Christ and Jesus alone, right? God has granted everyone a spirit. He took his own spirit and placed it in every single one of us humans that have lived and are living now, right? So when you feel that something is being, brought up to your attention and it's coming from inside, it ain't no chakra. When you see something that secular, eyes, it ain't no motherfucking third eye. It's your spirit. It is God revealing things through or to you through his spirit that is within you. You ain't got jack squat doing no chakra, right? Your sperm count ain't got squat to do with your chakra, because chakra don't exist. You ain't got squat doing no third eye. It don't exist. Okay? In fact, your motherfucking sperm count has absolutely jack squat to do with your masculinity. Testosterones have jack squat to do with your masculinity. A man could still be considered just as masculine as another man, even if his sperm count is lower than his or non-existent, right? Even if he has lower levels of testosterone. All this feel-good content out here is annoying. And it's pushing misinformation, and y'all niggas be talking about anything. I'm holding my nut and now I'm a stellar athlete. Cash Nasty lost, and he was full of semen. One thing I can say, y'all stay tuned, because I'm bringing something to y'all attention, because I'm constantly seeing all these double standards, and y'all speak so poorly about matters, especially when they take into consideration females, right? Because all this sperm and semen talk had made me remember, going back to what I said earlier, this article that I had read. And it's an ethnographic study, which basically is the study of one's culture. And you're studying it without all the science. You're just analyzing it through documenting what you see, right? And so it's an ethnographic study in South Bronx. I think it was between the years of 1999 and 2001, and then it reappeared 2005. But they were studying male robbers, right? Male robbers in the Dominican community. And one of the things that they found is that it is common for male drug dealers or male robbers to have these limited sexist views towards women, right? For example, I'm not going to get too much into it now because I got a whole nother video coming up on it. But remember when they was talking about motherfreaking Cardi B and how she used her sex and robbed some guy, and a lot of guys was pissy about it? Well, this is a common phenomenon, especially in the criminal realm, right? Where you got these guys, these criminals, these males who share this toxic masculinity. Well, I won't say toxic, but they share what they view as masculinity through the lens of oh, well, I'm smart because I'm a man, I'm motherfucking dangerous, and all this wonderful jazz, where women, they view them as more weak, emotional driven, and mostly burdensome, right? But in the study, it goes to show that criminal males would exploit other males' masculinity, because in this, I don't know what to call it, because I don't like the term urban. I feel like that's just dog whistle for black. But in communities that are very impoverished and have high doses of racial minorities and some, criminalistic avenues, right, is that they develop their own ideas of what masculinity is, through the life and experiences that they currently have, right? Masculinity in a black impoverished family will not look the same as masculinity in a white wealthy man's, eyes, right? And so they develop these concepts all the while preying on each other's concept, right? So it even said in this research that they viewed it as a weakness in men, right? Where they would use women, and it's usually some female that they either have sexual encounters with or they're in a relationship with. They take advantage of their women because they put them in harm's way, right? And they use them and tell them, hey, use your sex appeal to lure this guy, to lower his guard so we can rob him. And that's ideally what these women would do. They call them the girl, where she's, actually I could explain the girl to you briefly, because it's crazy in the sense of when you think about it, but it makes motherfucking sense, right? So these females on average were like really pretty, right? And so, hold on. So for an example, the girl, it said, and Melissa from the Bronx, an attractive caramel-colored 18-year-old with thick thighs, wide hips, large buttocks, a tiny waist, a body like a dense guitar that strums the imaginations of men with Dominican cultural tastes, is a part of the neighborhood drug market today. She walks towards a Dominican man, a drug dealer, hanging in front of a stoop with a friend. He looks to be in his 40s, an old-timer, a man too ancient for her taste, but she continues towards him, reaches him, stops, asks, do you know where I can get some good weed? Melissa is the girl. And then it goes into explaining how in the illegal drug market, dealers deal with, certain apprehensions where they worry not only about the police, but other drug dealers and robbers, and usually males. But when they're approached by this female, right, they let their guards down, because majority of these times, these guys view women like through some crazy lens, right? So it says that male drug robbers often see themselves as smart, rational, and violent, whereas female criminals, they view them as unintelligent, emotional, and weak. And through these traditional sexist stereotypes, male drug robbers both not only justify the mistreatment of the girl, but they construct their own masculinity around her. You see what I'm saying? And so guys start to use this because they're like, well, I know how it is for me. If I see some pretty chick, blah, 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 I'm gonna lower my guard. So these drug, robbers, these robbers and stuff, these criminals will use that to their advantage. They'll send what they call the girl to their target that they plan on robbing. And then, she'll come in, lower their standards, probably bring them into their room or hotel or location where they got their drugs and stuff, thinking like they're going to have sex because this chick, in these guys' mind, oh, she's an easy sex target, right? Because it even says that, it says drug robbers interpret this neovet as a biological and social weakness in male dealers. It is natural, they reason, for men to want to mate with attractive women. It is all men, they reason, who compete in masculinity contests where they create male status through conquering women sexually, right? So men can't be men without women. Let's read it again. They reason, who compete in masculinity contests where they create male status through conquering women sexually. They create their status through their relations with women. Then he goes to say, many drug robberies then depend on that girl, on how she contributes to this cat and mouse game, on how she plays on the masculinity of male dealers, seducing and luring them into a drug robbery, into getting them taken for their drugs and cash. They literally use women. And so it's mind blowing because guys get pissy when women views them through these like easy to victimize lens, but fellow men are looking at y'all through these same lens because they're literally judging you on your views of masculinity. Like me personally, I think it's wild that your status revolves around your relationship with women. Like, but that's how it is, in these drug spaces, that these impoverished spaces that's full of crime, is that these guys are viewed as men through the power of how their relationships with women and money that's tailored to their criminal activities. Outside of that, they're nothing. They're nobodies, because they can't make it in their minds, they can't make it in the world through legitimate, the legitimate workforce, like working at a 9-to-5 job or some blue collar crime or some blue collar job. Because at the end of the day, you view it as like, well, this is the cars that I'm dealt with, all these obstacles. There's all types of factors that make people feel like this is what I got right here. And they adapt to that, right? And me personally, I just think it's crazy, because I even asked my wife, like, why are guys so eager to reduce themselves to damn near an animal? Talking about reprocreating, and I mean, it's not even that they talk about reprocreating. It's just like they reason men want to mate with attractive women, which means it's not even just of having sex, it's procreating. Because I'm not going to say I'm mating with somebody and it's just for sexual pleasure, which explains why there's so many baby mamas out here. Dudes just, bloop, I don't want you, but I want you to be my baby mom. So glad God had a whole different path for me. Niggas raggedy. But they reason for men to want to mate with attractive women. And then men compete in these masculinity contests where they create male status through the conquering of women sexually. That just sounds so barbaric. Like, your goals in life is just to have sex and spread your seed. Like, it sounds, that just sounds so, like, so weird. And I even asked my wife, like, why would they want to reduce themselves to that? And it made sense with what her response was. She said that, well, it could be the fact that, it's one of them, like, things where you use as an excuse or justification. Instead of taking accountability for your actions, you just chuck it up as like, oh, I can't help it. It's my biological nature. It goes along with that. It's just boys being boys concept. And we know through research, ample amount of research, decades, that boys just being boys concept is very problematic. Very. But I just thought that it was just crazy, because I'm just like, bro, this is why I think, I don't know. This is why I just think that majority of guys are simple. Like, it's crazy how guys say, in the dating realm, that they felt that females on average didn't have no conversation, or, couldn't provide some kind of like, provide something of substance to them. But that's how I feel with guys, because it's like, if you just view me as some sexual conquest, nigga, the freak I want to do with you? I don't want to play a part of the gender roles that males created in this newer era. You know what I'm saying? Because people have these misconceptions that women have been subjected to this, like, position of inferiority forever. And it's mother freaking across multiple different cultures, where you even have people talk about how, on average, men were warriors. In some cultures and some tribes, women were warriors. For example, I think it's crazy. One of the biggest symbols of power and strength and masculinity is the bald eagle. Yet the bald eagle that we know, that you associate with its 6+ foot wingspan and its, ability to hunt very well and all, that eagle is the woman. In fact, male eagles, male bald eagles, sit up in the tree and babysit their children, tend to their family like the Lord intended them to do.